impact did the RBI's November decision to increase risk weights on bank loans through NBFCs have? See, we were talking about the October month of questions, but yeah, here why this November thing is being asked? Because it was firstly discussed in the month of October by RBI. So they are simply asking about the impact which RBI's November final decision after October's discussion, the final decision which came out in November, what has it done? How much it has increased to the risk weights on bank loans to NBFCs, which they particularly are intended to have. So it accelerated, first option is saying it accelerated bank loans to NBFCs. Option B, it decreased bank lending to NBFCs significantly. Option C, it increased NBFC borrowing from international markets. Option D, it led NBFCs to stop issuing bonds. Or option E, it encouraged all NBFCs to accept more deposits. So which option should be the correct one? So yes, this time. Okay. So this time the correct answer is of course option B. That is, it decreased bank lending to NBFCs significantly. What was our question simply asking us out? It was asking us the impact which RBI's November decision was to increase risk weights on bank loans to NBFCs. So it is going to be done by raising the risk weights, and of course RBI will effectively made bank lending to NBFCs more expensive, and definitely it has resulted it out in the sort of reduction of bank loans to these institutions. Reason is RBI's increment in the expense. It has made more expensive by RBI than usual. So now, next question is asking us out, why have European regulators asked their banks to continue working with Indian clearing firms? Question is simply asking you out, why have the European regulators being asked, okay, their banks to continue working with Indian clearing firms? So there are having 5 options. Is the option A, that is to increase trading volumes in Europe. Option B is to avoid disruptions in trading despite unresolved supervisory disputes. Option C, to promote European investment in Indian bond markets. Option D, to implement co-supervision agreements with the RBI. Or option E, that is to diversify European banks' investments in India. What is it? This time the correct option is going to be B. And what was the question? It was asking the reason why European regulators have asked their banks to continue working with Indian clearing firms. So this time the correct answer is to avoid disruptions in trading despite unresolved supervisory disputes. So question is simply asking you out, European regulators want to prevent disruptions in trading as the dispute over supervisory powers with the RBI has already remained unresolved. Now, next question is asking, what was a primary reason for SBI being recognized as the best bank in India for 2024 by Global Finance magazine? So question is simple. It is asking you the primary reason why SBI has been recognized as the best bank in India for the year of 2024. And this whole decision has been taken by Global Finance magazine. So we are having 5 options. Option A saying its international expansion efforts. Option B, its commitment to financial inclusion and exceptional service. Option C, its technological innovations in banking. Option D, its dominance in corporate banking. Or option E, that is its partnerships with other global financial institutions. This time the correct answer is option B, that is its commitment to financial inclusion and exceptional service. See, SBI was honored for its dedication to financial inclusion and its commitment. Commitment for what? Commitment to deliver exceptional services which contributed to winning customer trust nationwide. Now, next question is asking us out, what was the primary factor contributing to the increase in total income for Indian banks overseas branches in 2023-24? So question is simply asking you out the primary factor which has contributed to the increase in total income for the Indian banks. Where? Indian banks in India particularly? No, of course, every bank which is here is going to be not mentioned here. Banks, Indian banks basically, which are being placed overseas. Okay, their overseas branches they are talking about in the year of 2023-24. So is it option A, that is expansion of branch count? Option B, that is growth in lending activities? Option C, increase in global interest rates? Option D, enhanced trade finance services? Or option E, higher customer deposits? What is the correct option? So this time, the correct answer would be option C. What is it? Option C, that is increase in global interest rates. So the rise in global interest rates significantly, what has it done? It has boosted the total income and expenses for Indian banks overseas branches. Okay, what will it do? It will lead to higher interest income and expenses. Both things at the same time. Okay, so give me a second. Yeah. Now, next question, what is it asking us out? Next question is asking us the factors which are primarily driving AI adoption in Indian banks according to the RBI study. So is it customer demand and regulatory pressure, asset size and CRAR of the banks, increase in lending rates, demand for mobile banking applications, or option E, that is government directives? What is it? Have 10 seconds for this question, then we will discuss it out. Okay, so this time the correct answer, what should it be? First of all, question was all revolving around AI adoption. Okay, and what was it asking us out? They were asking the primary reason behind driving AI adoption in Indian banks according to the RBI study. So this time the correct answer is going to be option B, that is the asset size and CRAR of banks. So the RBI study identifies asset size and CRAR as the primary factors, right? And what will it do? It will definitely influence AI adoption, as larger and financially healthier banks can better support investments in AI. That's the basic reason. Next question is asking us out, which technologies have been identified as the main focus areas for AI adoption among Indian banks? Previously, they were asking you the primary reason behind the adoption of AI in banks as well. Now they are asking you out the technologies which have been identified as the main focus areas for this AI adoption. So is it blockchain and quantum computing which is being used, robotic process automation, IoT and natural language processing, cryptocurrency mining, option D, that is digital payment gateways, or option E, that is biometric security systems? What is it? Have 10 seconds. Okay, so the person who was asking what is CRAR, give, okay, sorry, give me a second. See, CRAR, it is capital to risk assets ratio. What is CRAR? It is capital to risk assets ratio. What is it? It is a financial metric. It is a financial metric. What does it do? It measures A bank's capital relative to its risk. Bank's capital relative to its risk. So basically, what is CRAR, friends? It is a percentage. What is it? It is a percentage that indicates how well a bank can meet its obligations and absorb any sort of losses if they are any losses further. And if you talk about where do we use the CRAR, so CRAR is used by regulators to ensure that the banks comply with the capital requirements and can absorb a reasonable amount of loss. That's all about CRAR. Few have replied for this question particularly. So yes, now this time the correct option would be option B. That is robotic process automation, IoT, and natural language processing. So the study mentions that banks are increasing adopting robotic process automation, IoT, and NLP, that is natural language processing, along with traditional technologies like automation is there, data analytics, etc. These processes are also being used. It's not like that they are kept aside.